Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
Hello, how you guys doing today? I hope well. I just wanted to touch on something that I have been dealing with for quite some time. I think for me, it's just coming to a culmination of how I'm going to handle it and switching it up. And in speaking to other people who are like smack dab in the middle of it or the beginning phases of trying to reconcile some things with these certain people, these energies who are continuing to trauma dump or inflict pain on them just because they feel like they can, because the person is a good person. You know, we all need a shoulder to lean on and someone to listen to us, right, when we're going through stuff. And we do understand, especially empaths, that no one's perfect, and we try to look past some of the bad behaviors, actually a lot of the bad behaviors of other people, because we feel them. A lot of times we've already gone through it, or we're going through it. So it's like that understanding, that being able to be empathetic. That's what empaths are. And generally speaking, especially if you're a Starseed lightworker, you see the person in their actions and the things that they're saying, but then you also see them in their higher self. You know what I'm saying? Because there's always another side to them, even though the dark, quote unquote, side may be overtaking them in that moment or a period of their life. They 9 times out of 10 weren't always like that. Some bad that happened to them, so we tend to overlook it. But then here is where, you know, I think at some point in our lives, especially on this spiritual journey, where we have to say enough is enough. Enough is enough. I'm no longer going to be used as a toilet. I'm no longer going to be used as a punching bag just because you had some traumatic experiences in your life. Because if you've been on this earth long enough, and for a lot of people nowadays, you ain't even got to be on this earth that long. You done been through something. I don't think anybody that's born, even if you have all the money in the world, your parents had all the money in the world and gave you all the best things or whatever. Okay, you talk to them people, some bad stuff didn't happen to them. Talk to some people, they had both parents in the house. The parents could have been loving and kind, but then somebody in the world did something horrible to them. So we all have went through something, and if someone wants to be honest about it, it was probably, again, you old enough, it was probably or has been multiple things that were traumatic, painful, Probably so much so that you probably thought that you just didn't even want to be here no more. That doesn't give me, you, anyone the right to hurt other people. You know, that saying, hurt people hurt people. I don't want to hear that. That's not an excuse. You know, I was thinking, you know, there was like back in, even our parents, I'm in my later 40s, but so I'll just say my parents, and or even like as we go back, obviously the grandparents and the greats and stuff, therapy, all the tools that we have available today, it wasn't a thing back then. You know, we've come such a long way, and there's so many healing options out here that there is no excuse for a full-grown person to be vengeful and nasty and purposely. Like I said, we all didn't, I mean, there's been times when I have been upset and maybe not in the, you know, it was very snarky or something, but even with, I could be very silly and well, goofy. I could be a real goofball, but I'm saying at the end of the day, even before I started my spiritual journey, it was just something in me, regardless of whatever I've been through, that I just like, okay, you just go back and apologize and take a look at yourself and what's going on with you, especially if the person didn't do anything to you. And if you're going through something, it's okay to say, hey, I'm not well. I need some time to myself. I need to deal with some stuff and then come back. But again, if you get caught up in a moment and you say or do something that could be hurtful to the other person, you should have enough sense or have enough human decency to at least go back to the person and apologize. It's up to them whether they accept it, but you're doing, you know, you had a human experience, okay? That's that group. But then it's the other group that I'm more so, I just don't get it. 40s, 50s, 60s, out here knowing dang on well that you're not right, and you are seeing that you're hurting this person, you're seeing that you're doing things to this person, and a lot of times they won't, because we're all different stages in the journey, whether, you know, as far as the communication and being vocal. Even for myself, I mean, for quite some time, I wouldn't say it, especially in romantic relationships, I wouldn't say anything. And when I did, you know, I think I would have let it go too far. But you would think, again, you know, again, this is someone that's supposed to care about you, care about your feelings, that they should know better. Well, that's logical thinking. That makes sense. But that's not how people operate. A lot of them will just continue to do it. So then it falls on you to set the boundaries, you know. And and those that, like I said, they feel like they can't get it together, they're too far gone, you know, they're embarrassed to go get help, so they continue to trauma dump, hurt people. And we're not all built from, we don't all have the same, we have access to the same source where the strength and the healing lies, but we're not all utilizing it. That's obvious, right? And not all of us know how to tap into it. Yet, more and more people are learning how to do that. That's why there's videos like this online and people talking about it, and a bunch of other videos, or on different social media platforms. And you have the gurus that's out there, talking about this stuff to help people. But yeah, we can't, the trauma that we have, we need to deal with that. We need to heal from it. And most of the people that have done that to me, they know. And they'll get mad, and they'll either walk away from you, which, okay, whatever, good. It don't feel good in the moment for the other person because they didn't want that. They just wanted to have that communication. They wanted to probably, it could be a family, friend, lover, don't matter, to reconcile the situation. When they do, that empath or whoever it is finally do speak up and say something. But a lot of times the other one, because they're not ready to deal with it, they'll run off, or they'll attack you. You thought you was attacked, you're gonna get attacked even more. And some of the ones that's covert about it, they'll do some things, and this has happened to me. Not that many, but it's happened to me, where they will play with you and act like they hear you and understand you, and they're willing to heal the situation, but they didn't mean it. I mean, their action is going to show you they didn't mean it. That they just use that as a tool to hurt you even deeper, because they'll either let you think everything okay, and either they'll come back and do something nasty to you purposely. That's the whole key. Purposely. In some way, shape, form, or fashion. They'll wait a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and some of them that are real methodical with it. Months. And come back and do something nasty to you. Or they'll give you the silent treatment or something. Which is hurtful too. Especially if you thinking everything, like you thinking that you're okay, based upon what this person said the last time you communicated with them. So, there is no excuse for this. It really needs to end. And especially, I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I'm going to mention it. Nowadays, with everything being accelerated and us transitioning to 4 and 5D, karma's spinning the block faster than what it used to, especially doing these things to divine beings. I mean, like I said, no reason. It doesn't mean that the divine being is perfect. We're not talking about that. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Malicious intent for no reason. Just because someone triggered you. A lot of us divine beings are here to trigger. One, we're learning, for our own selves, because a lot of us are healers and we have other higher callings. So we got to learn, right? But with that, while we're learning and going through our spiritual experience, part of that is, at least what I'm seeing and what I'm understanding in other individuals that I know that have a similar path. We ain't all got to have the exact same path, obviously, but we triggering, and we don't even be trying to trigger. We may try to get to know a person on a deeper level. That's triggering for a lot of people. They don't want you to know who they are. But us that ain't got nothing to hide, or us that want something deep, a deep connection, ain't nothing wrong with that. We're just having a conversation, or we're just putting some thought-provoking things out there. It triggers people. It's like, why are you so upset? Why do you have to be retaliatory and do something nasty and crazy because I'm just having a conversation, or I'm giving my opinion on something, or I'm saying something about my boundaries in a nice way. Hey, I don't know. But what I do know is it needs to end. And for those that are on the opposite side, whose this stuff is being done to, keep your head up. And you're going to have to learn to set boundaries. And that could be challenging, because it could be your own family. It could be who you sleeping with the next to every night. We're in that era of change. We have to evolve. You have to evolve. Either you're going to evolve, or you're going to be left right where you at. And who wants to be right where they at? You know what I'm saying? Like, who don't want to evolve into a better person, a better individual, understanding more of your calling? Like, why are you here? What can I do to, because once you learn that and you get that curiosity about yourself, it opens up a whole, it's like Pandora's box is open. And then that allows you to, like, while you're helping yourself and you're being a better version of yourself, and you internally become way more happier, way more content, way more at peace. And that in itself, especially if you are your purpose, which most divine beings are, I don't know one that's not, is helping others in some way. So it's not just about you. You're here to assist with the raising of vibration of the planet, and whatever, like I said, whatever your niche purpose is. But that's what it's all about. But while you're doing that, it's you're happy because you're in line and in sync, or getting in line and in sync with why you're here, as opposed to just being still in the matrix, going about having the same conversation you had 5-10 years ago. You know, yeah, those people are whatever. And then they don't like to see your glow. They don't like to see you happy. So that's triggering. Or you look at things and say, you know what? Oh my God, the sun, the moon, the stars, and they think you're weird and crazy. That's triggering to them. As opposed to taking the opportunity and saying, hey, you know what? I never really thought about that before. Or some things that this person is saying. It doesn't hurt to listen. And even if it's something that I don't agree with or don't want to be a part of, I'm not finna do nothing nasty and crazy to them just because they're not my cup of tea. I don't know. So, you know, and for those who are doing this, and you refusing to get help, again, karma spinning the block real fast these days. You know, and I'm seeing divine beings, light workers, starseeds, that stuff that used to be done to them, to us years ago, and it would take however many years, sometimes not all the time, obviously, but sometimes it would take years for that person to be going on, continuing to hurt other people, and then, you know, they'll get their karma. But nowadays, I'm seeing it boomerang real fast. So that's something that you need to be mindful of, and you shouldn't have to live in fear, but you should be mindful of it, because one, you shouldn't be doing that, right? So that should help you or put something in your mind to say, hey, I need to go get some help and do something about this. One, for my own self, and then two, you know, I'm tired of hurting other people. So I'm going to do a Reiki, a real quick pick-me-up Reiki session for trauma. I hope that ASMR Reiki trauma healing session, quick pick me up, benefits you for your highest good.